Well, hello there, my fellow Doombots. We just found out that Ultron is officially back in the MCU. And let me tell you, I think that this is going to have really big consequences for Avengers Secret Wars. Let's talk about it. Marvel released the first trailer for Visionquest, exclusive to fans at New York Comic Con. The trailer showed Bettany back as White Vision from the ending of WandaVision. There was also human versions of Ultron, who was voiced by James Spader in the second Avengers movie, and the AI programs Jarvis, Friday, and Edith. At the end of the trailer, there was a brief shot of an adult Tommy Vision and Wanda's son that appeared as a child in WandaVision. Vision Quest was described as the third part of a trilogy that included WandaVision and Agatha all along. So that's big freaking news. James Spader is returning to play Ultron, and I'm very excited for this. First of all, I love that this is going to be a trilogy. I loved WandaVision. Agatha All Along is, in my opinion, my favorite MCU series of all time. I think it's very underrated. It was freaking rock and roll, baby. I love that show. But now we're getting a full season of Vision, and it will include Ultron. Cannot be more hyped for this. We all know that Avengers Age of Ultron, even though when I'm rewatching it I can appreciate the great moments in it, it was kind of a letdown. And the main reason for me it was a letdown was my expectations for Ultron in the movie. Ultron for me was one of the most anticipated MCU villains. The original Age of Ultron comic is not even the reason why, but it was actually this animated movie that I watched called Next Avengers Heroes of Tomorrow. And let me tell you, in this freaking made-for-TV movie, Ultron is freaking crazy. Ultron defeats and kills most of the original Avengers and replaces them with AI robot versions of themselves. But the thing that I loved about this movie so much, in the first 10 minutes, you find out how overpowered Ultron is. You remember that beatdown that Thanos gave Hulk at the beginning of Infinity War? Well, let me tell you, Ultron did it first. He's just beating Hulk down. Even though it's an old version of Hulk, I love the way that Ultron was portrayed in this. Age of Ultron, of course, had some good moments. I love the AI origin story, even though I'm not a big fan of Tony Stark being the one together with Bruce Banner to create Ultron. Not the biggest fan of that. But this scene in particular, where Ultron takes over Jarvis and starts finding out that basically the AI's objective is to save humanity, save Earth from threats, and the only way to do it is by evolving. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I also really liked the Ultron introduction scene to the Avengers at that after party in Stark Tower, or Avengers Tower, however you call it. The part where he says, I have no strings anymore, and that he keeps evolving. I thought this was very vibey in the first trailers. I thought this was very interesting, very high potential. I love that he kept evolving in the film, and it's very interesting that his final form was actually going to be Vision, that this was the ultimate body that Ultron was creating. I think that's a very nice MCU spin on it, and I love how they introduced Vision in it. Oh, and not to forget, Hulkbuster versus Hulk fight was freaking awesome. But sadly, Ultron was pretty easily just defeated by the Avengers standing in a circle and just punching off the Ultron bots, kind of reminiscent of them defeating the Chitauri. And sadly, he was, of course, it was off screen, but it was still killed off, it looked like, by Vision. But of course, it's Ultron, it's a program, it's not something physical. You can actually never ever get rid of Ultron. One of the things that I didn't like about Ultron is not that he was played by James Spader, because I think that James Spader is a very charismatic, very intense actor and perfect for the role actually, but it was the personality that it gave Ultron. It was some kind of snarky Tony Stark copycat type of character, and I hope that he evolves from that. I don't want that snarky humor. I want a serious, scary, impressive Ultron in the future. And I do think that James Spader, well, my Doom drinks fell. I do think that James Spader can really bring an intensity to this role that Ultron deserves. So I'm really happy that they're bringing back Ultron. After Avengers Age of Ultron, we did get to see some Ultron action in Doctor Strange's Multiverse of Madness. It looked like the Ultron bots were controlled by the Illuminati, probably by a version of Doctor Doom, because there was an empty chair. I do have to give props to John Krasinski's performance as Reed Richards, because I love the way he turned himself to spaghetti in that movie. I loved how this version of Reed Richards just died immediately and just was a complete moron. So I cannot wait for Pedro Pascal's version of Reed Richards to die in Avengers Secret Wars or even Avengers Doomsday. That'd be awesome if the first scene is just Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom just killing off Reed Richards. Would be much better version of the MCU then. There's a long history of Doctor Doom being able to control Ultron. We'll get to that later in the video, and I really do think that his return is going to affect Avengers Secret Wars. At least I hope so. I have high hopes for that. After that, he was also seen in some kind of Avengers cruise ship or whatever, an interactive Avengers experience at Disneyland. There's clips of this online where Ultron fights a couple of Avengers, including I think Sam Wilson's Captain America and Ant-Man, but this doesn't have anything really to do with MCU. It would be funny if they mention it, but at the same time I don't think that this is canon at all. We got to see Ultron finally get his ultimate vision form in What If. To be honest, I've never really been a big fan of What If, so I haven't really watched this. I think I've watched it, but I think I forgot about it. But at the end of every single What If season, one character just gets overpowered and then they get defeated by the power of Agent Carter. But I don't want to get into that. I want to get into the original Secret Wars, where Ultron actually played kind of a pivotal role. Not really. The first time he was introduced in Secret Wars, he just started attacking everybody. After Ultron started like zapping everybody with his lasers, he tried to pick on the biggest dude in the prison yard named Galactus, and Galactus just flicked him away and destroyed him in 1 second, only for Doctor Doom to bring Ultron back to life to just basically use him as his personal bodyguard. Anything Doctor Doom wanted in Secret Wars is basically what Ultron was doing, but eventually he was pushed to the side by characters like Molecule Man and Claw. It's not like Ultron is gonna be playing the biggest role in Secret Wars, but I do think it's interesting if they bring him into it as a sort of weapon for Doctor Doom to use. I would really think it would be awesome to see the chemistry between Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom and James Spader's Ultron, and I'm really hyped for that. I think that could be freaking awesome. Overall, I'm just very hyped that we're getting an OG Avengers villain like Ultron back. We've seen a lot of Loki. Probably Thanos is going to return just to get his spine snapped by Doctor Doom. But now that Ultron, it seems that he's also returning. That's something that I'm very hyped for. And I think that Secret Wars is going to be an epic conclusion. I do think that Ultron should be a part of it. I hope that we get a better version of Ultron than we got in Avengers Age of Ultron. Don't get me wrong, I'm actually quite a big fan of Ultron, but I just like it more when he's a genocidal crazy robot who has like zero humor. I don't want Ultron to be funny. Like, the funny thing about Ultron is that he is not funny, you know? He shouldn't be snarky, shouldn't be sounding like Doctor Strange or Tony Stark. He should be dead serious, and he tells you, I am going to eliminate you right now. That's, in my opinion, how he should be played. Maybe a little bit of personality, but none of that Tony Stark snarky type of stuff. So overall, I'm very hyped that we're getting Ultron back, and I think it's awesome that we're getting to see James Spader return to the role. Let me know in the comments down below. Are you hyped for Ultron? Are you not hyped? What do you like about it? What do you not like about it? Let me know in the comments down below. Doombot out, and have yourself a happy Doomsday.